All right, this is episode 3 on the 5.3 427. We got it hung on the stand. We got everything cleaned up and deburred, and I done dropped one sleeve in, just checking on my system. So we fixing to pop the rest of these sleeves in, and then once we get the sleeves in, we'll set a head on it to clamp them down, hold them in place till it cools off. So stay with us, and we'll get going on this thing. All right, so what we're doing is we just warm up the block. We got this torch head, and that's generally what I use. Eventually, we're going to get an oven big enough where we can set these things in them and just warm all of them up at one time. But we ain't got there yet. So we just warm them up. I spot check it with a dial bore gauge to make sure the hole's big enough, and then we just drop a sleeve in, and then we move to the next one and the next one, and that's the way I've been doing them, and it works out pretty good. It's a little bit windy out here. That makes it more aggravating. Come on. Get the hammer and the block ready just in case we need it. Yeah, this is not the funnest way to do it, but it works fine, but it's definitely not as easy as just having the whole block in the oven and bring it up to temp and slide it out and just drop 8 sleeves in it at one time. And the bad thing is I've been to 100 auctions, industrial auctions where they had ovens big enough to do a block, and they don't bring nothing because nobody wants them. And I could have bought 50 of them, but we just don't do this every day. But it's getting more and more. But I wished I'd have had one now. All right. So we're gonna wash, rinse, and repeat. Make sure the counter bores ain't got no crap in them. I need to run a tap through all the head bolt holes. So we finished the bores 2,000 smaller than the sleeve OD, and when I warm them up, when I warm the block up, I can get it about 2,000ths bigger than the sleeve OD, 2 or 3. So we moving, the aluminum's moving with that. I mean, I don't know, I ain't got my temp gun with me, but we probably, I don't know, 400 degrees probably, give or take. And so that's moving at almost 5,000ths. So whatever that's worth, it's just useless information for you. But that's how we do which we don't do many of them no more, but that's how we do like dirt bike, ATV, watercraft. That's how we do those cylinders. Like we have to, some of those cylinders, don't have a liner in them. They just like Nickel or Alu-Seal or something coated on the aluminum. And so we'll bore those out and actually put an iron sleeve in them, and I just warm them up and drop the sleeve in them. But 1 ain't so bad. 8's a little nerve-wracking sometimes, because if you make a boo-boo, it's ugly. I mean, generally we can salvage it, but it's not fun. Not fun. All right. Should go out on us. Such is life. Yeah, it's probably hot. All right. Let's kick the tires and light the fires. Kind of got to watch it as you put in one sleeve. Now the sleeve's expanding, so in this axis it's a little smaller than it is in this axis. So once you get one sleeve in, it's a little more important to measure it in 2 directions, because it's not exactly round. Huh? 246. Yeah, that ain't right. It's hotter than that. I think that thing was lying anyway. All right, here we go. Oh yeah. Yeah, like once you get the block hot, it really don't take much to move on to the next hole. When you let it cool off, it's aggravating. All right, we got ready to knock another one in the hole. We got the sleeves. They're like 10 proud, so they sticking up on purpose. time is it?
11:56.
All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna stop this camera and we're gonna go eat lunch. And then when we get back, this will be all cooled off and we're gonna pop the heads off and then we'll look over it good and have a conversation about it, and there we'll be. All right, so we got the heads off. Everything looks good. One thing is, so I was just spot checking. So that's like 13. That is like 13 and a half. That is 13. And that is like 11. So, and I spot checked the other side and it's relatively the same, within a thousandths or so. So I think I was shooting for 10 or 12 when we done it in the boring table. I can't remember, but so that gives me hope. So the next process, so let's flip it upside down and let's just look at the bottom where the sleeve. Oh yeah. So come over here with the camera, Andrew. So you can see it just hangs below the aluminum just barely. So that gives us, and on these aluminum blocks, the sleeve is a little bit longer. We went through that before. The sleeve is a little bit longer than an iron block. And so now it's even a little longer than that. So, and this is going to be a street deal anyway. So that, you know, any extra length we can get at the bottom of the skirt is our friend, right? So the sleeves are in, they went in beautiful. We got 2000s press fit on all of them. You know, everything's nice. The protrusion is good. So the next process that we're gonna do, the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get the caps cut. We're gonna get this thing line honed. Once we get the line honed done, then we'll get it in the surfacer. We're gonna deck it square. Like I say, we left the sleeve proud on purpose because we don't want to take no more off the deck than we absolutely have to. So we'll deck it with the BXJ fixture. We'll get both sides square, parallel, perpendicular, all of that junk. We'll deck the top of it. Once it's decked, we'll get it in the boring table. We do not have a piston yet. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'll probably try to get that done here in the next few days, is I got cranking rods, I just don't have a piston. So we're going to get a piston ordered for this thing, and hopefully we can get a piston in here pretty quick. But in the meantime, because we know we're going standard, so I mean the piston is going to be 4 and 125, so we'll go ahead and probably get it bored to 4 and 120, and you know leave us 5 to hone. But like I say, it really went together well. And two, come over here with the camera, Andrew. And you can see what I was talking about between the cylinders. So you got just, I mean, a teeny gap in that little sliver. Like I say, that little sliver that we knocked out and filed, that's, you know, it can get in the way, but they don't touch, but they just almost do. I think there's 5 thousandths a piece, so there should be a 10 thousandths gap between every one of them. And like I say, it don't. And the only way that you can get a bigger flange, but you can see how wide that is. So that's plenty of room. Sorry, there was some crap on that old head we put on it. But you can see, you know, the fire ring of the gasket is going to land on the flange of the sleeve. And I've seen some other people talking about putting these sleeves in, calling them top hats. So it's not it's called a flanged sleeve. I mean, I'm just saying, like, if you're looking for a sleeve or you trying to ask a supplier about a sleeve, they call it a flanged sleeve. So, and I personally, I feel like a flange sleeve is the best style sleeve. But like I say, the only way the flange could get any bigger is if they had flats here. So you would, when you put the sleeve in, you'd have to put two sleeves in at a time to align them. And I've done that, and it's not fun. And, you know, we could make a fixture plate to hold them and put all four in at the same time. But like I say, you definitely, if you're going to do that, you definitely need an oven. But anyway, so I hope that that was interesting to see all that go in. And like I say, the next time you see this block, there's one in the line hole now, and there's another one in line behind it, and then this one will be next. So hopefully next week we can get this thing in line home, and then once we get it line home, the rest of it will go pretty fast. And we will torque plate hone it for all the torque plate police. So stay tuned, and I appreciate you watching. Check out the website, powellmachininc.com. Thank you again. We'll see you on the next one.